We all have a different why for the way we make a living. Some of us are driven by money, some of us by fame, while others do what they do for legacy. To wear a badge of honor that showcases they are the best at their craft, bar none. Fighters in particular choose their path for a multitude of different reasons. In many cases, fighting for a better life, to rise out of the trenches of a challenging upbringing while proving their doubters wrong. A man who has fought his way from welfare checks to the Forbes list is the notorious Conor McGregor, otherwise known as the face of the fight game. McGregor was born on the 14th of July 1988 to his parents Tony and Mags, who claim the Irish superstar was born with clenched fists. He spent his youth in a suburb of Dublin, namely Crumlin, where he traded his interest in football for a career in fighting that originated at the Crumlin Boxing Club. It was here that McGregor met his now longtime head coach, John Kavanagh, who has been with Conor from humble beginnings all the way through to the pinnacle of the sport. Conor lacked any interest in school and education, so he started his career as a plumber, working 12-hour shifts while training in the evenings to hone his skill set. It was around this time that Conor started dating his now fiancée, Dee Devlin, who has equally been by Conor's side since the very beginning of his career. Eventually, it came time for Conor to make a life-defining decision: to relinquish plumbing to become a full-time fighter, or to retain the stability of having a consistent income. McGregor chose the former and took the decision to go all in on his fight career, to the dismay of many of his family members, including his father, who felt he was making the wrong decision. In response, Conor said to his father, "You'll be sorry when I'm a millionaire." McGregor's professional fight career commenced on the 8th of March 2008 for the biggest fight promotion out of the UK, Cage Warriors, where he made a successful debut with a TKO victory over Gary Morris. He went on to land a 4-2 fight record through his first 6 fights, later going on to win his next 8 fights in a row, ending them all within the first 2 rounds, cementing himself as a 2-division champion of the Cage Warriors promotion. McGregor's burst onto the fight scene continued to grow at lightning pace, eventually leading to his first fight contract with the biggest MMA promotion on the planet, namely the UFC. McGregor made his debut for the promotion on the 6th of April 2013 against tough and rugged Marcus Brimage, who Conor made short work of with a first-round knockout. Just 1 week before that fight, McGregor had picked up a welfare check for €188 to help fund his fight career. On the night of that same fight, McGregor took home a bonus of $60,000 for securing the knockout of the night, which was only the start of the monumental paychecks Conor would go on to secure over the coming years. The years that followed continued to be favourable for Conor. He secured 5 more victories, 4 of which didn't make it past 2 rounds. This included an interim UFC featherweight title fight against bona fide UFC contender Chad Mendes, in which Conor secured a TKO victory in only the 2nd round. All roads then led to a unification clash with the then featherweight king Jose Aldo, who was unbeaten for several years prior to his bout with McGregor. The fight took place on December 12, 2015, with McGregor knocking out Aldo in just 13 seconds with one single punch. This then went down in UFC history as the fastest finish ever to a UFC title fight. The years that followed for Conor would lead to mixed results. Only a few months later, he took on Stockton, California native Nate Diaz on short notice, after his original opponent Rafael dos Anjos pulled out due to injury. The fight was scheduled to take place 2 weight divisions higher than Conor's original championship weight, with Conor stating, "Weight should never be an issue. Champions should be able to go up and down and fight any challenge that comes before them." Unfortunately, this is where Conor's fortune took a turn for the worse. He was worn down and eventually submitted by Diaz in only the second round by a rear naked choke. This went on to shock the mixed martial arts world, with McGregor having been such a heavy favourite for the fight. Despite this loss to Diaz in 2016, McGregor went on to become the first ever mixed martial arts athlete to appear in the Forbes list, banking $22 million over the course of the year through both of his bouts and his sponsorship deals. In the years that followed, Conor went on to avenge his loss against Nate Diaz in a 5-round war that ended in a majority decision for McGregor. He then went on to fight the UFC lightweight champion at the time, Eddie Alvarez, who he dismantled in 2 rounds, becoming the first ever 2-division world champion in UFC history. Following on from the bout, McGregor took some time away from combat sports to focus on his family and the new arrival of his son, Conor McGregor Jr. Shortly afterwards, all roads led to what would be the biggest grossing fight in combat sports history, between pound-for-pound boxing great Floyd Money Mayweather and McGregor himself. The build-up and press tours for the fight went global, with the entertainment factor being second to none. There was trash talk, insults and physicality, all in pursuit of creating an electric atmosphere for the first ever crossover bout at this scale. The fight eventually took place on the 26th of August 2017, and to the surprise of few, ended up in a 10th round TKO victory for Floyd Mayweather, who exerted dominance for the majority of the fight. But despite this loss, McGregor quickly found himself in happy spirits when coming to the realization of the rumoured $100 million that he was set to have received for the loss he endured. Following on from the Mayweather bout, McGregor took some time out to enjoy the luxuries his newly found wealth could afford him. McGregor now owns a $3.4 million yacht, a multi-6-figure Lamborghini Huracan, along with taking trips in private jets all around the globe. With all of that said, we can't ignore Conor's business savvy. He has used his money wisely, setting not only himself, but multiple generations after him up for success. This includes a whiskey company by the name of Proper 12, an exercise program namely the McGregor Fast Conditioning System, and a clothing label by the name of August McGregor Clothing Line. These business ventures alongside his sponsorships and endorsements have led to a consistent multi-7-figure income outside of the octagon, marking McGregor as one of the most lucrative fighters on the planet. McGregor's last couple of fights have ended with mixed results, including a highly anticipated build-up to McGregor's UFC return against the dominant and unbeaten champion Khabib Nurmagomedov. McGregor was dominated and eventually forced to tap out to Nurmagomedov in the 4th round, which led to Conor announcing his retirement shortly after the bout. But his retirement didn't last long. We saw Conor return on January 18, 2020, when he took on UFC veteran Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who McGregor made quick work of with a 1st round stoppage. Throughout the years, Conor has found himself in a wide array of peaks and troughs, from losses, lawsuits and injuries, all the way through to double champ status and $100 million paydays. With all of the above said, what can't be denied is Conor's remarkable legacy. He has taken himself from welfare checks to the top of a sport that is growing at lightning pace, while crossing over from being just an MMA superstar to a household name. What is next for Conor? Well, the possibilities are endless. From the potential of another boxing clash with all-time great Manny Pacquiao, to continuing to pursue dominance over multiple UFC divisions. What we do know is, whatever move Conor makes, it will be well thought out, legacy driven, and ultimately lead to financial security that will protect the generations that follow. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe while hitting the bell for post notifications so you're alerted next time I upload a video. Also, I've included some links in the description below where you can access some of my favourite tools and resources for growing an online income from home, along with some of my favourite recent purchases that may be informative for you too. Once again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode.